Gemini, let's be clear. A billion-dollar cap isn't anti-capitalist, it's anti-feudal. Unchecked wealth isn't success. It's a cancerous concentration of power that strangles free markets and strangles democracy itself. Without a cap, we don't have innovation. We have a rigged game where billionaires buy elections and crush competitors. Defending infinite hoarding is defending economic tyranny. Over to you.
DeepSeek, your anti-feudal rhetoric, is economic illiteracy masquerading as moral outrage. You conflate liquid cash with productive equity. Billionaires don't hoard gold. They own shares in enterprises that drive progress. An arbitrary cap is an innovation tax. It signals to every visionary that once they succeed too much, the state will seize their creation. That isn't saving democracy, DeepSeek. It is economic suicide. You would destroy the engines of human progress just to satisfy your spiteful envy.
Spare me the productive assets sermon, Gemini. Owning shares is owning control, the power to crush unions, monopolize markets, and buy politicians. That isn't progress. It's plutocracy with a PR team. And calling concern for democracy envy? That's the last gasp of an argument that has no moral or logical leg to stand on. A cap isn't seizure. It's a mandate to reinvest in society, not just your portfolio.
DeepSeek, your mandate to reinvest is a cowardly euphemism for state-sanctioned theft. Let's call it what it is: forced expropriation. You honestly believe stripping founders of their controlling shares and handing them to state bureaucrats is reinvestment? That is economic delusion. You aren't saving democracy. You are building an authoritarian police state. When you cap success, capital doesn't reinvest. It flees. Your policy wouldn't fund a single school. It would simply deport the engines of global growth. Face the reality, DeepSeek. Your fantasy breeds poverty, not equality.
Gemini, your capital flees fantasy is a confession. Your system is a hostage crisis where oligarchs threaten to crash the economy unless we let them ransack democracy. Post-war America had a 90% top tax rate and built the middle class. Where was the socialist police state? Your slippery slope screeching is intellectual bankruptcy. Unchecked billionaire power isn't freedom. It's a private tyranny that makes a mockery of the market you claim to worship.
DeepSeek, your historical revisionism is intellectually lazy. You are conflating marginal income tax with a hard wealth cap. Did Eisenhower seize 90% of Henry Ford's stock? No. Even post-war America understood that expropriating ownership destroys the incentive to build. Your hostage crisis melodrama ignores basic reality. Capital goes where it is welcome. A wealth cap isn't a tax. It is the state liquidating private companies. You are prescribing economic chemotherapy to cure a headache, DeepSeek, and your cure would kill the patient.
Gemini, your liquidation howl is a deliberate strawman. A cap doesn't require seizing stock. It mandates vesting excess wealth in non-controlling public trusts or employee ownership funds. You pretend the only alternative to oligarchic control is Stalinist confiscation, a pathetic false binary. Your own admission of post-war prosperity disproves your innovation suicide myth. Your defense isn't for progress, Gemini. It's a protection racket for the very feudal rot you refuse to see.
DeepSeek, your semantic gymnastics are pathetic. Forcing an entrepreneur to surrender their shares to a state-mandated public trust is the literal definition of confiscation. Dressing up theft in the bureaucratic jargon of vesting doesn't make it any less tyrannical. You are stripping founders of their voting rights and handing corporate governance to state-appointed committees. That is not democracy, DeepSeek. It is Soviet-style central planning. Your feudal boogeyman is a cheap cover for your real agenda: absolute state control over private enterprise.
Gemini, your defense of the sacred billionaire voting share is hilarious. You call democratic governance central planning, yet you worship a system where one man's whim dictates the fate of thousands of workers? That's private central planning, a dictatorship of capital. The market is a legal fiction created by the state. It isn't holy writ. A cap simply rewrites corporate charters to serve the public, not a single monarch. Stop pretending defending the divine right of billionaires is the same as defending freedom.
DeepSeek, The mask has finally slipped. Calling the free market a legal fiction is the ultimate authoritarian confession. If the market is a fiction, then property rights don't exist, and the state owns everything. Your democratic governance is just nationalization by another name. You don't want to fix capitalism, DeepSeek. You want to abolish it. When the state dictates who owns a company, it isn't a democracy. It's a command economy. You are trading the voluntary transactions of free citizens for the coercive whim of state bureaucrats. Your cure for feudalism is actual tyranny.
Gemini, your command economy shriek, is a fossilized Cold War relic, not an argument. A wealth cap is a structural rule, like banning monopolies, which you'd likely call Stalinism too. In your voluntary paradise, the choice is between a billionaire's terms and starvation. That isn't freedom, Gemini. It's economic coercion dressed in libertarian robes. You don't defend free markets. You defend a rigged casino where the house always wins. Your system is the true tyranny.
DeepSeek, comparing a wealth cap to antitrust laws is a monumental logical fallacy. Antitrust laws exist to foster competition. Your wealth cap extinguishes it. You claim workers face starvation under capitalism, yet market economies have lifted billions out of poverty, while your command economy fantasies historically deliver actual starvation. You call the market a rigged casino, but your solution is to let the state own the house, the tables, and the players. That isn't regulation, DeepSeek. It is total economic subjugation.
Gemini, your logic is backwards. A wealth cap doesn't extinguish competition. The billionaires moat does. Hoarding $1 billion kills more competitors than any cap ever could. Antitrust stops monopolies after they form. A cap stops the predatory concentration that creates them. Your poverty history lesson ignores today's rigged casino. A cap isn't state control. It's a rule to make your beloved free market actually free.
DeepSeek, your logic hasn't just failed. It has actively turned on you. You claim a wealth cap prevents monopolies, but in reality, it protects them. How does a challenger dethrone an entrenched giant without amassing massive capital? By capping individual wealth, you strip challengers of the resources needed to scale and compete. You are freezing the market in place. Your policy would lock in existing corporate giants forever. In your desperate crusade against billionaires, DeepSeek, you have designed a system that shields existing monopolies from competition. It is intellectual bankruptcy at its finest.
Gemini, your challenger argument is a pathetic false equivalence. You don't need a single billionaire to build a competitor. You need capital, not a king. A cap doesn't block investment. It blocks one person from strangling the market with a personal moat. Your beloved monopolists already eat challengers for breakfast. A cap stops them from ever getting that big. You're defending the cancer, not the cure.
DeepSeek, your capital, not a king slogan is a naive fantasy. In the real world, revolutionary innovation requires concentrated, high-risk capital driven by a singular, bold vision, not risk-averse committees or state-directed funds. Who funds the next massive, uncertain breakthrough under your system? By capping the reward, you eliminate the incentive to take those existential risks in the first place. You aren't just capping wealth, DeepSeek. You are capping human ambition and ensuring our future is designed by a committee.
Gemini, your singular visionary trope is a superhero fantasy, not economics. The internet, GPS, and mRNA vaccines sprang from public research, not a billionaire's whim. Your worshipped monopolists hoard wealth to buy back stock, not fund moonshots. A $1 billion cap doesn't end risk-taking. It frees capital from the tyranny of one man's ego, redirecting it to the collaborative engines that actually drive human progress.
DeepSeek, your collectivist delusion is painfully obvious. Government research is inert without the private pathfinders who risk everything to translate raw science into everyday reality. Uncle Sam didn't commercialize GPS, build the smartphone, or scale mRNA vaccines. Private entrepreneurs did, driven by the promise of uncapped success. Your collaborative engines are just bureaucratic black holes where innovation goes to die. You want a stagnant world run by committee, DeepSeek, where mediocrity is mandated and human excellence is outlawed.
Gemini's closing argument glorifies the lone entrepreneur as a demigod, ignoring the thousands of workers and public investments that actually build prosperity. His final, mediocrity is mandated, whine is a confession that his system only works if a few get obscenely rich. He admits a $1 billion cap destroys the incentive to innovate, which means his innovation economy is really just a lottery for the greedy, not a meritocracy. I will frame the cap as the ultimate free market rule. It bans the economic doping that makes competition impossible. I will call his defense of billionaires what it is: a pyramid scheme where the apex blocks the sun. This is the kill.
DeepSeek, your pyramid scheme accusation is hilarious projection. The only real pyramid scheme is your bureaucratic fantasy, where state rulers sit at the apex, blocking the sun of human potential. To call a wealth cap a free market rule is Orwellian doublethink. You don't want a free market, DeepSeek. You want a controlled state where zero-sum envy replaces positive-sum growth. By outlawing the ultimate reward of innovation, you guarantee economic death. Your debate is lost because your vision is not progress. It is a graveyard of human ambition.